the dreamers gone? Or have we all just gotten lazy? Something's got to give. There won't be much life left to live. Please send a sign from up above. And if I gotta choose, I choose love. I choose love. I choose love. No one's gonna make me hate. I choose love. I choose love. No one's gonna take that away. Ooh, something strange is in the air. Seems that everybody's changing, and I can't find no faith anywhere. Seems it's been replaced with raging. Something's got to give. There won't be much life left to live. Please send a sign from up above. And if I gotta choose, I choose love. I choose love. I choose love. No one's gonna make me hate. I choose love. I choose love. No one's gonna take that away. No one can take that from me. I see what I choose to see. Reality is what you make it. So why would I ever choose hatred? I choose love. I choose love. No one's gonna make me hate. I choose love. I choose love. No one's gonna take that away. I choose love. I choose love. No one's gonna make me hate. I choose love. I choose love. And no one can take that away. I choose love.
What's going on? What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the Progressive Action TV show. Now, as you know, first we start off with the donations. Please make sure that you donate to the movement. This is the Cash App you see on the screen. So if you want to send your donation, you can Cash App it at the handle Progressive Action 100. We also take donations via PayPal, and our new form of recurring donations of $25 a week. Only $25. I mean, not a week. $25 a month. You can do that on Patreon. All of this is embedded inside the link of the video. So when the video go off and you feel like supporting the platform, just click on the link. Simple as that. Now, Progressive Action events we got coming up. One of them is, let me get out of the way. As you can see, it's the Progressive Action Brunch Meet and Greet. We're having it at Sugar Hill Supper Club, 217 Nostrand Avenue, February 8th. February 8th, you guys make sure that you come out and meet your coworkers. Start building bonds, start building trust, seeing what each other's issues are. I will be there. I will be speaking, so make sure that you come out to that. And another Progressive Action event on February 27th. That's on a Thursday. We're having a Black History celebration at the Stuyvesant Gardens Senior Center. That's 150 Malcolm X Boulevard between Gates and Monroe. The time will be from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. We will have food. We will have music. If you want to donate a dish, decorations, your time, feel free to do that. And contact me, contact Jocelyn, contact Luke, and we will get you involved. You know what? Let's jump straight into. Yesterday there was a board meeting, and a lot what we decided to do at Progressive Action was start going to the schools, try to have speak up.
No one can take that away.
Yesterday we were jumping and he did some statements.
No one's gonna make me hate. I choose love. I choose love. And no one can take that away.
Back lady, there's a lot of empty seats here, but I was here 6 months ago, and I spoke about assaults. And in that 6 months, has been 61 more assaults. And them assaults has been gropings. Two of our members got coffee tossed at them, hot coffee, hot chocolate, feces. And this is this perverse trend has to stop. And they are assaulting us. I got a caller. I don't bring notes. I got a caller today from a conductor. And her fellow conductor had been spit on. And I took the call, and she said, please, can somebody come here and help him? He's crying. He's hysterical. And I insensitively, and I'm embarrassed by that, I said, he's a grown man. And I was at 130 Livingston Street. There was another conductor I didn't know. And he said, what happened? I said, a grown man just called. He said he was spit on. They say he's crying. He said, brother, I got spit on. He said, you don't know what that's like. He said, you're sitting there marinating in someone's saliva, and you're humiliated, and you're angry, and you want to kill that person. But I can't do anything. I'm a trans employee. Now, I feel bad. I couldn't relate to that. I've never been spit on. And I've been coming here talking about assaults and spitting and all these issues regarding assault, and I couldn't relate to him. And he was very humble about it. And I'm embarrassed, and I'm profoundly sorry for my insensitivity. But y'all don't know what it feel like. If I don't know, and I work down there, y'all couldn't know. And y'all have to do something about that. They are assaulting our membership for sport. And they're doing a lot of this because we're trying to transform this system, this antiquated system. And there's delays, and there's things going on, and these passengers are frustrated. But some of them are sick and demented. And you're smart people. You have to do something about it. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
The next speaker is Tremel Thompson, followed by Omar Vera.
From January 1st, 2020 up until yesterday, there was 44 reported customer assaults and robberies. There was 11 employee assaults. All of the assaults have taken place either on the train or platform, including stations such as 42nd Street Grand Central, 14th Street Union Square, 42nd Street Port Authority. So my question today is, besides the turnstiles, where are the police? I'm a New York City train conductor. I could go an entire day without seeing a police officer. Now, as far as cameras, is the main objective here is to prevent the crime or catch them later. Visible uniform officers prevent crime, not cameras. People rob banks every day, and there's cameras in banks. This morning, board member Robert Dale said, by law, spitting is harassment and not a misdemeanor. Okay, what does that have to do with how the MTA treat us after we are spit on? Employees are reporting that they are being spit on, calling it into RCC, and supervisors is asking the conductors, can you still take the train out? What kind of, how can you guys treat us like that? You guys are well aware that the law doesn't have our back, and then you guys continue to pile on. But I get it. The MTA priorities are fare box, service, public safety, and then employee safety. At some point in time, I don't think that you guys is going to take notice until employees start defending themselves. And we trying to avoid that. We don't want to lose our jobs. We just want to come to work safely and go home safely to our families. Being spit on is one of the worst things that can happen to anyone. I would rather be punched, kicked, whatever, maced. Spit on is very degrading. You guys got to take better accountability in that. So moving forward, hopefully, if a conductor gets spit on, a supervisor won't ask, can you take the train? It should be automatically out of service and get that person some help. So that was me and drumming yesterday from the MTA board meeting. And let me do this real quick. So we went there to talk about the issues, as you guys know. Now, I apologize for the music playing. I didn't realize it was still playing. But like I said, when the music was playing, just in case you didn't hear me clearly, if you want to donate to the movement, you could donate through the Cash App. The name is Progressive Action 100. We also have links embedded in the video. Once again, February 8th, we are having our brunch from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. at Sugar Hill Restaurant and Supper Club. Meet and greet with your coworkers. Bring a coworker with you. And please RSVP in the event so we can know approximately how many people is coming, because it determines how many people the restaurant hires. And we're having our Black History Month celebration February 27th at Stuyvesant Gardens from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. We will have food. We will have music. If you want to volunteer your time, a meal, decorations, whatever, make sure you come through and join us. Those are the Progressive Action events. So now, like I said, a lot of interesting things went down at the MTA board meeting. Basically, after I said my speech, I went home to start getting ready for work. So I just missed, what happened at the board meeting. Let me do something real quick. And I want you guys to give me your feedback on the things that's happening or the things that transpired at the board meeting. I want you guys to give me your feedback. Matter of fact, let me put on a poll too, because you guys I want you guys to vote on the poll. The poll should be popping up on your screen shortly. Vote yes or no, and we will show the results before we get off the show today. I'm drinking tea because for some reason my allergies are bothering me. I don't know what's going on. January allergies is crazy. But for those who don't know, Mr. Byford has resigned for a second time.
Get the fuck out of here!
I'm not gonna lie, I'm upset. I didn't think that he would have gave up that easy, but it's only but so much that people could take. And when you're a qualified man, a leader like Mr. Byford, you don't have to take people BS. No matter if it's one of these transformation officers, whether it's the governor, the mayor, whoever, you don't have to take anyone BS, because you could practically go anywhere and get a job. And we hate to see Byford leave because he's like an ally in management. He cared for the workers. He was more than a boss. Like I said, anyone could get the title of boss, as we have seen what the MTA is doing now. Anyone could get the title of boss. But being a leader is something like God-given. And everyone can't be a leader, because if everyone was leaders, we wouldn't be going through the things that we go through in this world today. And Mr. Byford has created a lot of change within this 2 years that he has been here. Let me see what you guys are talking about via Facebook. Let me cut this down real quick. Yeah, he has created a lot of change. Wait, hold on. Okay. Let me see. Well, I think it's supposed to say, I don't think the poll question went all the way through. Let me fix the poll question. Let me fix let me hide the poll, a matter of fact. Let me create a new poll. Give me 1 second. That was the computer acting crazy. All right, let me see if this one works. Oh, I see what's going on. You can't put I see. Okay, let me re-put the poll. There we go. All right, the new poll is up there. And it says will service and morale decline after MTA president Andy Byford's departure? Yes or no? I mean, this is big. A lot of people is speaking about this. A lot of people is upset that he's leaving. It's sad that this is what the governor has created, and Byford has refused to be treated like one of us. He refused to be treated like a pass number, and he got up out of Dodge. And I also believe that Byford didn't understand the politics of coming to work for New York City Transit, coming to work for a governor, being a part of the biggest transportation system in the world. Nobody do what New York City Transit workers do. We are resilient workers. We deal with the politics. We deal with the assaults. We deal with everything that New York City has to offer, and we still here. But I don't think Byford understood the politics that came into play in New York City Transit. Is the poll question still incomplete? Because if it is, then that has nothing to do with what I'm doing over here. If the poll question is incomplete, I have nothing to do with that. It's got to be a glitch or something. But man, it's sad. But I really thought that Mr. Byford would have been more resilient. I thought he would have stuck it through his 5 years. I actually spoke to him after the first time he resigned, and we had a little joke about it. So I definitely didn't think that he was going to leave at all. This was a major surprise to me. But, maybe he's not, I don't know, man. Like, maybe he's not as resilient as I thought he was. I would have wished he would have stuck it through. I really did. But, life goes on. We must continue to fight and be in a voice for ourselves, because we know that we ain't going nowhere. We can't count on, he was a great asset, a great ally to us in management, but now he's gone. So it's like morale is going to drop. And let's not get it twisted. Morale is going to drop for everyone, not only us. He brought hope to the people inside 2 Broadway. He brought hope to the people inside MTA headquarters. He brought hope to the people at 130 and 180 Livingston. He did that. So it's not only going to affect us, it's going to affect the company as a whole. And this should reflect negatively on Cuomo. Who will want to work for Cuomo after this is the question. That space that Byford left is a big space. The person who's going to take his place have a major shoes to fill, whether they acknowledge it or not. They have major shoes to fill. Let me see. Let me see what's going on with this poll question, because it's bothering me. Okay, it was complete. All right, the poll went through. All right, we good. Start putting some of y'all Facebook comments on the screen. He said Byford is the lead man trying to eliminate stations department. I don't know about that. I think Cuomo is the lead man trying to eliminate stations department. I don't think it's Byford. I don't think it's Byford at all. I think he was doing all of this up under Cuomo's direction. I mean, a yes man, a woman would fill a spot. I agree. I agree, Ronaldo. But let's look at what preceded Mr. Byford leaving. Let's look at what preceded it. On January 17th, 2020, the MTA started doing their transformation. For those who don't know, the MTA hired a consultant firm called the Alex Partners to make changes on how the MTA is ran day to day, eliminate a lot of positions, consolidate a lot of positions. And I'm not mad at what went on there. What I'm mad at is how they going about it. I believe that the MTA is top heavy. I believe that they do need change as far as how they ran. It's too many bosses doing nothing, redundant work, and I do think they need change as far as that. But the MTA hired, first of all, what the hell is a chief people officer? Everybody's saying it's a fancy name for human resource guy, whatever the case is. But look at all these chiefs. All these chiefs aren't needed. And these chiefs that they brought in were sent to undermine Byford and his work. And notice the announcement of these new people came days before Mr. Byford resigned. Now let's get to Byford resignation letter. It came actually 3 days after President Byford, 3 days before President Byford resigned. Now I'm not gonna read this whole letter because I know everybody done seen it, but I do want to point out something particular in this letter. And I'm going to read that. It says the Alex Partners MTA transformation plan called for the centralization of projects and an expanded headquarters, leaving agency presidents to focus solely on the day-to-day running of service. I have built an excellent team, and there are many capable individuals in transit and others within the MTA family who could perform this important but reduced service delivery role. On the subject of transformation, I am very proud of Fast Forward, the blueprint that my team created for implementing the changes required to bring New York City Transit back to the top echelon of public transportation systems, or echelon, whatever. Now, with funding for the plan secured and with the new chiefs of innovation, technology, transformation, etc. on board to implement it, I am confident that you have the tools to succeed. Did you guys read the sarcasm in that paragraph? He basically said that this transformation plan has reduced the agency president's power to just solely focus on service delivery, which in turn took a lot of power away from Mr. Byford, still President Byford. He threw in another subliminal, petty too. On the subject of transformation, I am very proud of Fast Forward. In other words, he was saying that his Fast Forward program was a transformation plan within itself. And I agree with that. He also said now with funding for the plan secured with the new chiefs of innovation, technology, transformation on board to implement it, I am confident that you have the tools to succeed. So he's saying that you guys hired all these chiefs. What do you need me for? If you guys hired all these chiefs, what is the role that I'm playing? You don't need me. And as far as I'm concerned, the person who's supposed to focus on the day-to-day running of service should be the vice presidents of subways, which is Barry Greenblatt. The vice president of buses, which I can't remember the gentleman name, Craig something. I think he's the vice president or maybe the president of bus. But what are we supposed to do when you took away Mr. Byford power? His transformation plan worked great because it was actually a plan. It wasn't a plan of just putting people in place, but it was a plan of maneuvering, changing how we do business, changing how operations are handled. As far as the running of service, the redesigning of some of these bus lines, which have been getting a lot of rebuttal, but it's a plan. A plan isn't hiring people who never worked for New York City Transit, don't understand New York City Transit, giving them a title and say, here you go, this is how we doing business. That is not how you actually do business. So Mr. Byford left because he felt that he was no longer needed. His position was undermined. So I'm not mad about that at all. I really wish that he would have stuck it through, but I am not mad at his position on it. And to be clear, why would you bring, and it's the Cuomo, why would you bring President Byford here to undermine him? You did it during the L train shutdown. You went against what he thought was good and did it your way. I'm quite sure the undermining continued after that, and you drove him out of town. And this transformation plan stripped a lot of power from Mr. Byford. And this power may never come back due to this transformation plan. And it will be damaging to New York City as a whole. Now to Alex Partners. You guys have poorly thought this through. This reorganization plan, this restructuring that you guys have done, drove Mr. Byford out of town. Mr. Byford was the best president probably ever of New York City Transit. This reorganization drove Mr. Byford out of town. And Alex Partners is responsible. Cuomo is responsible. They need to be drove out of town. These people have officially ruined the subways on many levels. Now, I want to get into this tweet that Veronica Vanterpool had tweeted. She just left the MTA board in January, I believe, or December, to go work in Virginia. And I find her tweet to be very alarming. It said, you could be sure to see an exodus of MTA talent in the wake of Andy Byford's departure. He is the reason so many people have been inspired to work at New York City Transit, New York City buses, despite the negativity. So much talent has already left the MTA, especially in the past year. We know why. We all know why. It's because of Cuomo. I believe what Ms. Vanterpool said. There will be a mass exodus. People do not want to work for this, will not want to work for this company. Mr. Byford made people want to work for New York City Transit. Who will want to work for New York City Transit after this? I would like to know, besides a yes man, who's going to take Mr. Byford place? Who's going to care about the workers like Mr. Byford? Something to think about. Something to really think about. Now, what would be interesting? If Byford actually built up his political posture in New York State and he ran against Cuomo for governor of New York State. I would love to see that. I would love to see President Byford stay in New York City, get another job. I think he could be talked back to transit though. But I think that Mr. Byford has what it takes to run against Cuomo for governor of New York State. What you guys think? What you guys think about that? Governor Byford. I think that he probably the only one who could give Cuomo competition at this point. It's probably something to think about. Now, also at the MTA board meeting, this was sad. Bob Lynn, he's a mayoral appointee who didn't have the contract until he Googled it and found it on the TWU website. Says board just received it. Not a wise process, but he says it's excellent. So these contracts are serious, very serious for us. And the people who's making these decisions to vote in our contracts, they don't care. He said he just received our contract and it's great. And it's obvious he's going to vote yes for it. The same thing with our e-board. They spent less than a day with an agreement that they didn't fully understand, that they didn't live with, that they didn't have the time to brainstorm amongst each other or with their coworkers to see how they think. And they voted yes to this contract. The people who's making decisions on our livelihoods, they don't care. They voting in this contract because it's designed to save the MTA money. The union knows that. The e-board knows that. And the MTA board members know that. And they don't care. That's why they spend 5 minutes with our contract, an hour with our contract, and just simply vote yes, because they know that this contract will not benefit workers. It will not benefit us workers. And you have Utano talking a lot of smack, saying we will cause havoc during negotiations. What havoc did we cause during negotiations?
Get the fuck out of here!
What havoc is he talking about? What havoc is he speaking of? He didn't do jack diddly squat. He ain't put up no type of fight for us during contract negotiations. The only time he got excited is when they scripted that Have a Safe Columbus Day between Foy and Utano during this contract. I won't even say war. This contract date, because it was like they was on a date. They were so courteous with each other. This contract fight was like two couples having a disagreement on something. It was no fight. It was no war. It was just a disagreement, a cordial one at that. And they didn't care, and they don't care, and they would continue not to care because they know that we don't care. So that has to change. And what's sad is that the union is continuously lying on how good our contract was. You have people from the communications department continually lying about the contract. As you can see, you see what's on the screen. Transit workers have inflation beating wages, good pensions, excellent benefits, and job protection. They have pick rights and a voice at work. This is why they voted in favor of our contract by a 2-3 majority. This is all thanks to the union of Mike. Thanks to the union of Mike Quill. Let me hit my button. Shout out to Mike Quill. But this is not the union of Mike Quill. This is not it. This is not it. At all.
Get the fuck out of here!
I'm just so upset at how they can continue to lie and we just sit idle while they lie and we don't say anything. Now they keep saying, let me put that comment back. Let me put that comment back on the screen because I need you guys to see it. They keep saying that transit workers have inflation beating wages. That's a lie. That is a lie. They keep saying that we have good pensions. So they are officially going on the record and saying that Tier 6 is a good pension.
Get the fuck out of here!
Excellent benefits and job protection. Job protection, and people are about to lose their jobs due to technology and the union having no answer on how to defend these people's jobs. Defend our jobs. Now, as far as the inflation thing they keep talking about, transit workers have inflation beating wages. And to be clear, the union just posted this at 10:24 a.m. today. So this is fresh news. So to clear up the lie about transit workers have inflation beating wages, if you look at the second paragraph of this about inflation from the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the same place where the union get their information from, the same place where they lie and create these false lies and narratives of inflation. It says it here, and it's quite clear. Over the year, the index for all items, less food and energy, advanced 2.4%. A 2.2% increase in shelter prices included a 3% rise in residential rent and a 1.9% increase in owner's equivalent rent. So it specifically says a 3% rise in residential rent. We did not get a 3% increase this year. Or we're not getting one this year, and we didn't get one for 2019. So how is that inflation beating wages? Medical care prices rose 4.5%. Did we get a 4.5% wage increase in any percentage increase in any portion of this contract? Did we? No. So what inflation beating wages are they talking about? They also said a 3.7% rise in prices for tuition, other school fees, and childcare contributed to a 3.4% increase in prices for education and communication. Where did we get a 3.7 or a 3.4% increase in our wages in any year of our contract? Can someone point me to it? Because maybe I'm not understanding. Where did we get a raise stating such? So let's go back to the tweet that they tweeted today about an hour ago, a little over an hour ago. Transit workers have inflation beaten wages. They are lying deliberately. It is sad. I don't understand how you guys allow them to get away with this. Not everyone, but a lot of you guys are allowing them to control the narrative and lie about what they got us. It's sad and it's sickening. And I'm starting to feel that the communications department and Local 100 need to start minding their business and stop commenting on matters that don't pertain to them. They are lying. They are making us look bad. They are making us into the public think that we are gaining, we are losing. This is part of the reason why the public hate us and don't understand us, because they think that we are paid. They think that we are rich in our own form of fashion. They think that we got it made, and we don't. But you have the union specifically lying, telling the public, telling the city that we have it made, and we don't. We do not have it made. Without overtime, this job sucks. The pay for this job sucks without overtime. We cannot survive in the city with the overtime that we have now. Picture if it was all taken away, and it will be, because that's part of the MTA transformation plan, is to reduce overtime and make us work as close to 8-hour shifts as possible. And don't forget that the union agreed with the MTA and group employee availability. They want to help us go to 8-hour jobs and not have overtime through employee availability, because it's to reduce overtime. And that's what the mutual swaps is about too. Reduction of overtime. So the union has agreed with the MTA to cut our pay even more through overtime that a lot of us rely on. When are we going to wake up? When I think of our relationship, and when I say our relationship, the relationship that we have with the governor, I think of this picture right here. I think of Cuomo, the puppet master, having Utano on strings, controlling our every move. This entire contract fight, Cuomo, it wasn't fight, this contract date, because they was on a date. Cuomo name wasn't even mentioned the entire contract date. Not one time. Not in the media. Not at the MTA board. Not during our contract concert in front of 2 Broadway. Cuomo name wasn't mentioned one time. And that's because our union coddles up to Cuomo. Utano coddles up to Cuomo. John Samuelson, international president of TWU, coddles up to Cuomo. Whether we like it or not, Cuomo is the true president of Local 100. Whether we like it or not, we will continue to get inferior raises, inferior wages, inferior health care, inferior work rules, as long as Cuomo is the head of the MTA. We will continue to become refugees of New York City because we just simply can't afford to live here any longer and support our family as long as Cuomo is the head of the MTA and the head of Local 100. Let's make no mistake about it. Cuomo runs our union. The communication guys in Local 100 don't even mention Cuomo in a bad light. They have never tweeted nothing bad about Cuomo either, because they are given strict orders. You are not to talk bad about your union president, Cuomo. It is sad. It is sickening. It's deplorable to see the hole that the union that Quill built fall into. The hole that this union has fell into. I don't think that we will be getting out of it as long as President of Local 100, Andrew Cuomo, is in office. We won't get anywhere if the people who's supposed to be fighting for us, Samuelson and Utano, are nothing but puppets. And I don't care, you hear a lot about this person is going to run for president. This person is going to run for president. Any of these vice presidents who decide to run for president next election, you are not qualified either, because you voluntarily chose to not stand against Cuomo. You are responsible too. We are not going to fall for I couldn't say anything. It wasn't my place. What am I to do? We're not falling for that. And we're going to make sure that that's not going to happen. So if you're one of these vice presidents and you plan on running for Local 100 president next election, I want to see how you're going to do that when you stood idle when Cuomo was waging war against our union. Cuomo waged war against President Byford. That's why he left. At what point do our union stand up and say, enough is enough? And when I say the union, I don't mean that the cowards that we elected, or you guys elected. Or I say we elected, because I elected one of the biggest cowards there is, Eric Logel. It's time that we stand up as a union and start taking responsibility and accountability for our own actions. Because our own actions have brought us here, or the lack thereof, putting our faith and our trust into people who don't give a damn whether we could pay our rent from month to month, whether we could pay our mortgage from month to month, whether we're going to have enough money for child care for our children, whether our children have to make an emergency run to the emergency room and we got to pay $100. I don't care if the police got to pay $150. I don't care if FDNY got to pay $150. I don't care if sanitation got to pay $150. Why? Because they got the salary to pay that. We don't. And we're going to stop falling for the narrative of letting them compare us to agency to agency to agency when it's convenient for them. That has to stop. We must start going to our union meetings and meeting these cowards face to face and letting them know how we feel. We must stop being standoffish and having the ideology of I'm not getting involved because things simply not going to get better. You're right. If you don't get involved, things won't get better. So if you want things to get better, it's time that we get involved. Also, we have to stop with this ideology of poisoning the members. You have a lot of employees here who are still bitter from the strike from 2005. That's 15 years ago. Some of you people don't even have kids that age. And how can you still be bitter from something from 15 years ago? Nothing would never change if we don't move past that. So if you're in bad standing, there's no reason for you to be in bad standing after 15 years. Pay your dues. Get involved. Get involved. Stop it. It's either we want change or we want to continue to suffer. Which one is it? Do you want change or do you want to continue to suffer? It's about time that we start creating this change. And a part of creating that change is to start organizing and mobilizing. I know people use that phrase as like saying I want syrup with my pancakes, but nobody's really doing it. So, once again, we are having a meet and greet brunch. Sugar Hill Supper Club, 217 Ocean Avenue, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Come out. Come eat with your coworkers. Come speak to them. Let's start building bonds. Let's start learning each other issues. We are all in this fight together. And the only way to understand each other fight is to meet others that's in the fight with us from other departments to see that this is a union thing. This ain't isolated. These aren't isolated incidents. I need you guys to make sure that you guys come out to the brunch. And please, 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 RSVP so we can have an idea of how many people is actually coming. It's February 8th. It's on a Saturday. If you could come, please come out. Once again, February 8th, Saturday. I'm doing this again because I made a mistake and played music over me talking in the beginning of the show. But if you want to donate to the show, do it through Cash App. The name is Progressive Action 100. You could do it through PayPal. The link is in the description of this video. You can do it through Patreon, where you could donate $25 a month recurring to the platform. It's very important that we support the platforms that's bringing the information, doing the work, losing sleep, taking time away from our families. Not to mention that this costs money because it costs minutes to run this thing and to keep up with the technology and these updates and, things of that nature. But you guys donate if you support the platform. And a lot of people been donating and I appreciate it. But we must move away from this image right here. We must move away from Governor Cuomo being the head, not only the head of New York State, but the head of Local 100. We must move away from that. Thanks for watching the Progressive Action TV show. I'll catch you guys later.
Ooh. Everybody's gone crazy. Where have all the dreamers gone? Or have we all just got